You know, it's been a long time since I've read my stream dua. Even though what I do mostly nowadays is not Islamically related. After I've finished the Islamic books that I had in mind, I still have the Quran journaling. I do need my iPad for that. Maybe I should Quran journal for this stream. I don't know. I thought I'd be reading the rest of the Lord of the Rings, but yeah, it's not really set in schedule what I have to do, but oh, look at this drawing that I did. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. اللهم إني أعوذ بك أن أشرك بك شيئا أعلمه وأستغفرك لما لا أعلم اللهم اجعل عملي كله صالحا واجعله لوجهك خالصا ولا تجعل لأحد فيه شيئا قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا اللهم اغفر لي ما لا يعلمون واجعلني خيرا مما يظنون ولا تؤاخذني بما يقولون. I'm pretty sure there was some outro that I made. Oh yeah, stream outro. سبحانك اللهم وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. I haven't read that in a long time. Wait, where are my viewers though? Where are my viewers at though? Where are my people at? Last time I tried to stream, it lasted 1 minute because nobody was joining. And I was so sleepy, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna. Should I read yet? Like, finally, yo, Lady Blue. I know it's really, really early for you. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How have you been? I've been good, alhamdulillah. Yo, listen, there was this event that happened just now. I just came back from it. It was like this grand opening of a new building for an extension of my, middle school, high school thing. It's a private Islamic school, but then it branched out to being a seminary for like Islamic teaching for like hadith, and they just finished the last chapter of Bukhari so that they could grant the students their ijazah. So it's like a big deal. It's like yeah, like it was nice to hear everything. I did benefit for sure. Like they focus on subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanallah al-azim, how light it is on the tongue and how heavy it is on the scale, and they're talking about the mizan a lot, how much the scale is important. And then yeah, that's one thing I learned. And then or like reviewed, because I already knew that, but something else was just keeping your intentions pure and all. But the one thing I will say though, they focus so much, like when they were giving out the ijazahs to their students, they were literally saying all their societal titles, like, so they're all hufad, all of them. They're all hufad. They memorized the entire Quran. They have degrees. They have children. These ones are married. Inshallah, we'll expect them to have the children in 2027. And everybody's laughing. I was like, oh my goodness, the pressure is so real. You could tell that they just focus on your place in society, how much you're doing, with your job, how much knowledge you have Islamically, getting an ijaz. It's like, if I were Muslim, I think this is all for the sake of clout. But of course it's not. I mean, you have to assume the best as a Muslim, right? But it's just so annoying because, like, it just put pressure on those who haven't achieved anything, like myself. It's just after Fajr. By the way, what happened the day before yesterday, I remember I was saying hi and everyone was crazy and all. I don't know, bro. The stream is always crazy. Mid-semester is frying me. Oh, man. Really? Mid-semester? My semester just started. So it starts August, ends in December. And yeah, this is just the beginning. And like, I haven't even gone to my other class. Only one class so far. I have 3 other classes. I don't know. I don't even know the classes that I'm taking right now. Like, it's all a surprise to me. But yeah, inshallah, everything works out. I know you get really burnt out in the middle of the semester, but may Allah make it easy for you and grant you success in all your exams, all your affairs, everything. Psychology ain't that bad, but I'm lazy. Really? Dang, it seems really hard to me because you have to make research reports and like read a lot. Also me, I'm reading for the stream, but that's like for fun. I don't like being forced to read, you know. Yeah. If I were in psychology, I'd just like utilize ChatGPT 24/7. I mean, I already do that with math, but you have to actually learn it for the exams and stuff. But psychology, it's like, well, yeah. Nah, I like being the family therapist. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm glad to hear that. You actually like your family, and like you get to use your therapy for them. Cause my sister is also a therapist, but she can't use it on the family. Like they don't listen. I mean, she just helped me if I ever say anything. I mean, most of the time I gatekeep because I don't want her to know that stuff. But she's helpful. Alhamdulillah. Psychology is a really really important topic, especially for like the community and taking care of people. They don't listen. Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Like, family don't respect you, even if you get the biggest title in society. It's like, okay, you're still that one person in the family. Yeah. If you were somebody else not related, they'd be like, oh, okay, so she said that. Okay, we gotta listen. They respect people outside their family. I think it's just phenomenon at this point. But yeah, I don't like that aspect of my the event that I went to. Like everybody seems like they know each other, but like they don't like it's just so much drama without any drama. You know what I'm saying? Like, jeez, I could feel the air. It's like, oh, so what are you doing now? Like that's like the question that is on everyone's minds. I hate that so much. That's why the thumbnail of this live stream is that, because y'all don't care about. I feel like if you were like not so religious, but you had like a famous title, like you were like, I don't know, a big old counselor or something, they would appreciate you more than one of their own like good-hearted peoples. Are you allergic to like over social people? Yes. I don't know. I feel like I would have been over social if I had like a good standing in society. If my dad was like something, be like, oh, my dad works here, oh, my dad works there, because that's all people care about, and it's just so annoying, man. And then, oh, what do you do? Oh my goodness, so cringy. But it's only cringy to people who find offense in it because they didn't get anything. So it's like, okay, maybe it's a good pressure because you do have to achieve something in life. But at this point, it's so toxic. Like, I don't want to. I always felt that pressure when I was in school. Like, they used to go around class asking every student, what does your dad do? I was like, oh, my dad's a businessman. And I saw the person who asked that question today, Sheikh. I was about to say his name, but I mean, you don't even know him, so yeah. I made eye contact with like one of my old sheikh. It was so like I can't explain it. It's like cringy and like embarrassing just to like look at them in the eye. But it's fine. One day, inshallah, all this feeling will be gone. When I finally achieve something, and then they'll respect me. They're like, oh, this person used to go into IK. I mean, I just doxed myself, but used to go at our school when she was 6th grade. Mashallah, look at her now. Like, they'll take credit for everything once they actually achieve anything. I kind of want to just move, bro. Like, go to a new environment. Same. Like, it's like a thing to ask on every first class of a grade. Like, what does your dad do? Your mom doesn't work. Yeah, man. Like, we ain't there yet. We ain't that second generation. We're still the first generation. Like, be easy on us, Well, actually, not for you, because you're still in, your home country. But for us, being the first generation of, like, immigrants, it's not easy. Like, a lot of people make it look easy. Like, they went through so much and they got success. But not everyone could do that, My dad is a taxi driver, so, yeah. They don't respect people like that in society. And it's so sad, I think it's always been that case since the beginning of time, The Prophet said used to, make sure that was not the case. He would sit with the poor people, specifically them, so they didn't feel worthless. Because they didn't, contribute to society. They would only take from society because all the zakats would go to them. He's so sweet, man. The Prophet would have made everyone feel so safe and loved. Even though he didn't feel safe and loved when he was younger. When he was 6 years old, everyone passed away in his family. Like, his mom, his dad was already gone. His uncle and grandpa took care of him. But, it wasn't like he felt like he belonged or something. I don't know, like he and everyone was still disrespecting him. Like he didn't have that love growing up that he would give others. It's so beautiful. Subhanallah. Salli ala Muhammad. But you could always tell like what is lacking in a society and what the Prophet ﷺ taught in contrast to how you feel, you know? But it's not like they did anything. It's just that like they emphasize so much on like what people achieve. It's like, yeah, that's just how they think. That's just where their focus goes on. It's not like they want to be judgmental or anything, but it is. Yeah, hard times create strong minds and all. True. Inshallah, this will create a strong mind for me because, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed it that, you know, I didn't get that head start that everyone else seems to have. That, oh, their parents already got success. Now it's just expected of them to already get it too. Like they have like the whole roadmap laid out and stuff. And me, I don't even know, bro. You know what? I'm this close to graduating with like my degree and my minor. And then there's this new minor at my school for AI. It's like I had this meeting with my academic advisor. He's like, you could graduate with 8 more units, or you could take this minor because once you graduate you can't take it again, and it would be so helpful in your career path if you were to take it. And all of these credits, half of them are covered by the school for the tuition. He was selling it really well. I was like, wow, this guy a marketing major or what? Like, yo, what's up? Let me pray Fajr and I'll get back. Okay, taqabbal Allah. And yeah, see you soon, Hamza. Assalamu alaikum. People are so obsessed with creating a name and then they forget about afterlife and true motive and all. Exactly! Like, what is your focus? You know? Is it deen or dunya? It could be both, but it's really hard to balance it. Some people, all they look at others is, oh, this person is a bum. But then there's this other spectrum, the other end of the spectrum, where you're so insecure that that's what you think people think because you're thinking about that, because you're obsessed with the dunya, and you don't have that faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will make a way for you. It's I think that's me. Like, I want to have faith, but it's like kind of hard. May Allah increase my faith so I don't look at people that way or assume that they're thinking a certain thing that they're not. They're probably better than me, honestly. Like, they have deen dunya. Imagine, bro. Like, they get to Jannah and like somebody who had it so hard doesn't go as soon. Like, you don't know you can die after choking on food, literally. I know, subhanallah. Like, and there's this, I don't know what the whole story, but this guy survived a lot and then he just died on an orange peel. Like, that's the kind of fragile nature that humans have, and like nobody can, you know, protect you from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, you know. But yeah, it's always so embarrassing just looking at people after a really long time, because it's like, oh, you expect those questions. It's like, uh-oh, I gotta have an answer. They're like, yeah, I've been working as a teacher. Oh, really? Why didn't you work here? Oh, it's so embarrassing. Cringy. But at the same time, we can't live without that community, you know? We need a community. You separate yourself from the community so much because you're embarrassed of what everybody thinks, that you socially isolate, and then you don't have any connections. You're friendless, and then you're just left with your own thoughts, and then you go crazy. That's what happened to me. I went crazy between 2018 to 2022. That specific era of my life, I was crazy. I'm not gonna say how, but I look at the speaker, the sheikh who gave the ijazah to everybody, and he helped me through that time. Like, I emailed him personally. I was like, I'm in this situation. It's really embarrassing. So can you help me and like give me advice? He's like, you know, there's leeway in what you're doing, but it may make it easy for you, make you beneficial to everybody. I was like, oh, thank you so much. That really helped, because he wasn't judgmental, and like eventually I got out of that crazy era. A serial killer was caught here after trying to steal a fan from a mosque. What? Wait, that's so scary. What? So they caught him for stealing the fan, but found out he's a serial killer? Wow, subhanallah. That's crazy. That's so, like, weird. Like, how things work out like that. But yeah, it's also scary, like, how close a serial killer could be, but you just never know. Like, yeah. Alhamdulillah, though. We make our ways out. I mean, not we, people. Do they? I'm not a serial killer. Yeah. Just kidding. You sure? I only kill my nafs, inshallah khair. My nafs. Kill your egos, kill your nafs. You know, the bad ones. There's nafs al-lawama, nafs al-mutma'inna, and nafs al-ammara. Do you know what those are? Because I don't. I forgot. Nafs al-lawama is a self-blaming nafs. It's like the one that takes accountability. Nafs al-ammara, I forgot. But one of them, nafs al-ammara, nafs al-mutma'inna. Okay, so mutma'inna is the one that's good. It's like the good nafs. It tells you, you know, Juwaria, you should make wudu. Even though it's not dhuhr time. Maybe you'll pray duha. You should pray duha. Just make wudu. I know you're hungry, but, you know, brushing your teeth, eating, like, that's, you don't have to do that before you could pray. You could pray duha. It takes 2 rak'ats, 4 even. It's fine. You can do it. Or you should make wudu before you go to sleep. It's sunnah. It's so easy. And you could do morning adhkar, evening adhkar. Like, these are nafs al-mutma'inna thoughts. And then there's nafs al-ammara, the one that's like, give me that right now. I want that right now. I want to get mad. I want to yell at my dad. I want to eat instead of sunnah fast. Assalamu alaikum. Yo, stay my wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you? How's it going? And welcome to the stream. Do you watch movies and stuff? I do. I watched The Mandalorian last night with my mom, the 2026 movie. It was so good. I don't know why it got such bad ratings. Maybe it's just the streaming website that we used that gave it bad ratings, but I don't know. Overall, it should have had more ratings because it was so good. Because we watched the whole Mandalorian series before that. So, yeah, I mean, the movie just, it was peak. Nah, I don't. But yeah, we were supposed to watch a show this, like, tonight, like, with our friends, called OBX, Outer Banks. It's not the most hadad, but, like, we're obsessed with it. It's so good. But then their mom got mad. She's like, oh, I'm going through something. You can't come to our house today. You could probably hang out outside, but not in our house. So I don't know if she was actually going through something or like that she was like getting mad at them for something they did. It probably was the second case, but you gotta assume the best. Take it how they say it. So yeah, she was going through something, and you know, it's really sad, you know, because we barely get to hang out. Like, we only saw them like once this year, or like twice, I don't know, maybe once. And yeah, it's crazy. The year's already 7 months in, and you know, that's crazy. But yeah, we could finish this chapter 6. We already read some of it from last stream, or like last stream. And then inshallah khair, that's all we're gonna do. I yapped enough. I yapped so much, and I may regret it, but it is what it is. Alright, any questions, any comments, any concerns? Stay my 1234, are you still here? We need more Muslims in the channel. We get a lot of non-Muslims here, and I don't mind them, but it always hits closer to home when there's Muslims on the chat. Yo, right when I said that, Kai, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi, welcome back to the stream. Oh my god, you're my favorite viewer after, or not after, but favorite alongside Lady Bluebell. because you guys are the only two Muslim girls. That's crazy. I'm here. Yes, you are. How have you been? Walaikum salam. I know. Yeah, you know. You just know. Allahu Akbar. Alright, so I'm gonna start now. Now, we had better get home ourselves, said Mary. There's something funny about all this. Wait, no, I already finished chapter 5. We're in chapter 6 somewhere. But then my bookmark fell out. Aww. No, this is chapter 7. I feel like I read this. Yep, I read this page. So, yeah. I love your name, Lady Bluebird. Yep, I'm a bird. Well, my school is starting tomorrow. Dang! I hope you have fun. Wait, today's Saturday. Oh, so it's gonna be Monday for you. I see. Today's the 5 a.m. on a Sunday. Nice. That sounds like something I would say. Are you long lost twin? I know, bro. You know, before Tofu left permanently, he said that Lady Bluebell sounds just like you. That's my favorite page, that one there. Yep. Really? Welcome to the stream, Botiga. How's it going? And how do you know this? You read the book so much you know that page? That's crazy. Alright, let's read it for the sake of Botiga. The hobbits began to feel very hot. There were armies of flies, all kinds of buzzing around their ears, and the afternoon sun was burning on their backs. At last, they came suddenly into a thin shade. Great branches reached across the path. Each step forward became more reluctant than the last. Sleepiness seemed to be creeping out of the ground and up their legs and falling softly out of the air upon their heads and eyes. Frodo felt his chin go down and his head nod. Just in front of him, Pippin fell forward onto his knees. Frodo halted. It's no good, he heard Merry saying. Can't go another step without rest. Frodo did not like the sound of this. Oh, without rest. Must have nap. It's cool under the willows. Less flies. Frodo did not like the sound of this. Come on, he cried. We can't have a nap yet. We must get clear of the forest first. But the others were too far gone to care. Beside them, Sam stood yawning and blinking stupidly. Suddenly, Frodo himself felt sleep overwhelming him. He heard his head now seemed his head swam. There now seemed hardly a sound in the air. The flies had stopped buzzing, only a gentle noise at the edge of hearing. A soft fluttering, as of a song half whispered, seemed to stir in the boughs above. He lifted his heavy eyes and saw leaning over him a huge willow tree, old and hoary. Enormous it looked, its sprawling branches going up like reaching arms with many long-fingered hands, its knotted and twisted trunk gaping in wide fissures that creaked faintly as the boughs moved. The leaves fluttering against the bright sky dazzled him, and he toppled over, lying where he fell upon the grass. Merry and Pippin dragged themselves forward and lay down with their backs to the willow trunk. Behind them, the great cracks gaped wide to receive them as the tree swayed and creaked. They looked up at the gray and yellow leaves moving softly against the light and singing. They shut their eyes, and then it seemed that they could almost hear words, cool words, saying something about water and sleep. They gave themselves up to the spell and fell fast asleep at the foot of the great gray willow. Frodo lay for a while, fighting with the sleep that was overpowering him. Then, with an effort, he struggled to his feet again. He felt a compelling desire for cool water. Wait for me, Sam, he stammered. Must bathe feet a minute. Half in a dream, he wandered forward to the riverward side of the tree, where great winding roots grew out into the stream like gnarled dragon nets, straining down to drink. He straddled one of these and paddled his hot feet in the cool brown water, and there he too suddenly fell asleep with his back against the tree. Yo, good on 1917, by the way. 1917, by the way. I know my spelling are great. Are you super cool, dude? I am! Thank you so much. I'm from Pakistan. Zindabad. Hi, Kai. Oh, you're talking to her? Bro, I thought you were talking to me. 1971. 1971, huh? It's a very specific date. Year. What happened in 1971? The birth of Pakistan's baby, East Pakistan. Sam sat down and scratched his head and yawned like a cavern. He was worried. The afternoon was getting late, and he thought this sudden sleepiness uncanny. There's more behind this than sun and warm air, he muttered to himself. I don't like this great big tree. I don't trust it. Hark at it singing about sleep now. This won't do at all. He pulled himself to his feet and staggered off to see what had become of the ponies. He found that two had wandered on a good way along the path, and he had just caught them and brought them back towards the others, where he heard two noises, one loud and the other one soft but very clear. One was the splash of something heavy falling into the water, and the other was noise like the snick of a lock when the door quietly closes fast. He rushed back to the bank. Frodo was in the water close to the edge, and great tree roots seemed to be over him and holding him down, but he was not struggling. Sam gripped him by the jacket and dragged him from under the root, and then with difficulty hauled him onto the bank. Almost at once he woke and coughed and spluttered. Do you know, Sam, he said at length, the beastly tree threw me in it. I felt it. The big root just twisted round and tipped me in. You were dreaming, I expect, Mr. Frodo, said Sam. You shouldn't sit in such a place if you feel sleepy. What about the others? Frodo asked. I wonder what sort of dreams they were having. They went round to the other side of the tree, and then Sam understood the click that he had heard. Pippin had vanished. The crack by which he had laid himself had closed together so that not a chink could be seen. Merry was trapped. Another crack had closed about his waist. His legs lay down, but the rest of him was inside a dark opening, the edges of which gripped like a pair of pincers. Whoa, this tree is crazy. Reminds me of the Harry Potter tree. I forgot which movie that was in. I recently watched a movie on the partition and was it bad? My sister started crying. Aww. I'm from Bangladesh, so to be honest, my thoughts on the partition of India and Pakistan would be that both countries were at fault. Well, the movie wasn't exactly about it, but it's based in that time. India should be separate and not like crazy rituals and all. True, bro. Like, they're smart and all, you know? They got like that culture that kind of knows everything, like natural remedies for like everything. They're really good with planting and food and knowledge, like education wise, but it's there's something that balances it all out with like the weird rituals and stuff. Yeah. Both Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs were killing people from other religions, which is against Islam. I know, bro. Like, they ain't even practicing Islam the way it should be. Indian Muslims, kind of sus. Unless they find real Islam, you know. Which is kind of scarce. Yeah, true. Islam teaches... at least nowadays, since we have the internet, like, Islam is more widely available in its true nature. Like back then, they just had whatever people said, you know. That's the whole importance of isnad. That's what they were going over in that event today, you know, because they gave ijazah today. They were talking about the isnad and you know, the whole chain of narrations that led back to Bukhari rahimahullah. And you know, it just, it's so important because they literally said like anyone could say anything about Islam and nobody would know. But you know, that's like literally what my dad does. Like, he just talks about Islam like from his head and like attributes it to the religion. I'm like, you shouldn't just talk like that. It's really heavy thing. And you know, you need dalil for everything they say. He talks about the status of a father like coming right after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm like, bro, please. The mother, like you know that hadith, you don't care about it. But yeah. Even then, Prophet comes after. But yeah. People like to twist it whatever they want for their own wants and desires. Sad. Frodo and Sam beat first upon the tree trunk where Pippin had lain. They then struggled frantically to pull open the jaws of the crack that held poor Merry. It was quite useless. What a foul thing to happen, cried Frodo wildly. Why did we ever come into this dreadful forest? I wish we were all back at Crick Hollow. He kicked the tree with all his strength, heedless of his own feet. A hardly perceptible shiver ran through the stem and up into the branches. The leaves rustled and whispered, but with a shout now of faint and a far-off laughter. I suppose we haven't gotten an axe among our luggage, Mr. Frodo, asked Sam. I brought a little hatchet for chopping firewood, said Frodo. That wouldn't be much use. Wait a minute, cried Sam, struck by an idea suggested by firewood. We might be doing something with fire. We might, said Frodo doubtfully. We might succeed in roasting Pippin alive inside. Well, we might try to hurt or frighten this tree to begin with, said Sam fiercely. If it don't let them go, I'll have it down. If I have to gnaw it. He ran to the ponies and before long came back with 2 tinder boxes and a hatchet. Quickly they gathered dry grass and leaves and bits of bark and made a pile of broken twigs and chopped sticks. These they heaped against the trunk of the far side of the tree from the prisoners. As soon as Sam had struck a spark into the tinder, it kindled a dry fire, and a flurry of flames and smoke went up. The twigs crackled. Little fingers of fire licked against the dry, scored rind of the ancient tree and scorched it. A tremor ran through the whole willow. The leaves seemed to hiss above the heads with the sound of pain and anger. A loud scream came from Merry, and from far inside the tree they heard Pippin give a muffled yell. Put it out! Put it out! Cried Merry. He'll squeeze me in two if you don't. He says so. Who? What? Shouted Frodo, rushing around to the other side of the tree. Put it out! Put it out! Begged Merry. The branches of the willow began to sway violently. There was a sound as of a wind rising and spreading outwards to the branches of all the other trees round about, as though they had dropped a stone into the quiet slumber of the river valley and set up ripples of anger that ran out over the whole forest. Sam kicked at the little fire and stamped out the sparks, but Frodo, without any clear idea of why he did so or what he hoped for, ran along the path crying, Help! 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 It seemed to him that he could hardly hear the sound of his own shrill voice. It was blown away from him by the willow wind and drowned in a clamor of leaves as soon as the words left his mouth. He felt desperate, lost, and witless. 1 second. Bro, that was not an emergency. Yuki. He just has to be everywhere I go. To be honest, my dad does that too. I don't know why I get salty when someone tells me something about Islam, but they don't follow the fundamental rules of Islam. I know, I shouldn't feel that way about it. You should. It's not right that people practice or preach what they don't practice. Like my dad, he says everybody should recite Baqarah, and I literally caught that on stream. He's like, you recite Baqarah, everybody needs to. I'm like, do you? I was like, I have my own adhkar. I was like, what is greater than Baqarah? Why are you telling us to? And what is Yuki doing, bro? He's licking it because he sat there. That's his butt stamp. I try not to show it though. Too much suppressing is bad. You have to be able to communicate these feelings in a respectful manner, because it has to be said. You can't just, you don't feel it for no reason, you know? Yeah, pray your salah before lecturing me to cover my whole face. And oh, bro, your whole face? Like they force niqab on you? That's crazy, you know? Because niqab, you can't even pray with it during Umrah. You can't even do Umrah with the niqab on. You know? It's not part of the... What's the thing? I forgot the term. Like the ihram? You know? The niqab touches your face. It's like, you know? It's not part of the ihram. And if you pray with the niqab, it's like... Apparently it doesn't count or something. I don't know. That's relatable, Bluebell. But then I try to tell myself, calm down, it's fine. But... there's no point calming down if you feel something, you know? The emotions are there for a reason. You have to feel it and be able to tend to it in the right ways, because you always will have that choice to speak up. Yuki being Yuki. Zahra 4321. Therein everything that the soul desire and the eyes delight in, you will abide therein forever. Aww, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, one good Allah. And welcome to the stream. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's crazy, my cat's name is Yuka. I know, right? That's crazy. Yuka and Yuki. Yuki is a girl, right? There is no God but Allah, the most merciful. Those who deny Allah will burn in the eternal fire of hell, while those who believe and die as Muslims will receive the glad tidings of Jannat. Oh, Jannat. Yeah, you're right. Is Jannat another spelling of Jannat? Like, where, what language is Jannat spelled like that? one good Allah. Can I call you Mr. Good or Mrs. Good? Are you a girl or a guy? My mom tried to like force niqab, but it was only for like 2 days. I started hijab on my own, so I feel proud of it. Allahumma barik. May Allah always keep you steadfast in this path of, you know, holding on to the hijab. And my mom's like, don't wear hijab to functions. Like, what? Excuse me? I know, right? It's so cultural. It's insane. Like, the aspects like, oh, like your wedding is a free day. You don't have to wear niqab or something. Or hijab. Um, but yeah, man, it's sad. Even me, like, my mom gets so mad when I don't wear. Even if I'm wearing lip gloss, she's like, you have to wear the pigment, the lip stain, the lip oil before the lip gloss. I'm like, I swear, I put so much. I couldn't even find it, and it literally made me cry yesterday. Cause I'm trying so hard to please my mom with this thing that I'm already like, you know, uncomfortable by. Cause you know, Islam says, you know, tabarruj or whatever, like too much makeup. If it weren't part of Islam, anything controversial in the aspect of marriage, makeup, do you think I would have a problem wearing it? No, you know, everybody would just do it, cause you know how like painting and stuff. That's just another hobby, you know. I like to try every hobby. I would have felt comfortable. Makeup is just like painting; it's an art. But because Islam has some controversy with it, that's why I feel uncomfortable. And being already on that fight or flight mode yesterday, thinking, oh, what is my mom gonna say? Is my makeup good enough? I'm trying my best. I'm wearing lip gloss. I hope she doesn't yell at me. I hope she doesn't yell at me. And she comes and yells at me so hard because she's already mad because my dad was like, I'm not gonna give you money anymore because you didn't do this thing that's not even part of Islam. And it just dominoed on top of me, and I started crying so much. But it resolved by the end because we ate out and it was nice. Alhamdulillah. But still, it's like these things are not part of Islam. If people practice Islam rightly and correctly and respected people and had that dunya knowledge of like how to interact with people, emotional intelligence, it's not separate from Islam. You know, they're combined. Islam teaches emotional intelligence, but still, they're just all cultural. Justice for Wang Wang. Thank you. Is that me? I don't know. Yuka tried to score with her imaginary basketball on my face whenever I'm praying and standing up from sajda. Oh, so sweet. So that is a girl. Daisy mom syndrome, Kai. Yeah, man. My dad would show me like half ayats from I don't know what surah and ask me where it is from and say I don't memorize my Quran enough. At least show me like 3 or 4 ayats to identify when it's from the Quran. It's repetitive. I know, like that's the beauty of the Quran, you know, is that a lot of, you know, in Surah Rahman, it's like فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. It's so repeated, and it's meant to be like that, so that it's like, you know, with the enough practice, you could use those as like hooks to remember each thing. It's part of, you know, each thing. That sounds so annoying. These same dads don't even read the Quran. Exactly. Jojo's dad is like that. For real. It is Iron Kia. Yeah, that's my sister. But yeah, it's so, you know, these things about Islam, at least now this generation knows that it matters so much to practice the deen in the way that it's meant to be practiced. Chai like tea? Who's chai? Who said chai? Are you Hafidh by any chance? Me, no, but Kai is, yeah. That's why her dad was like, you know, trying to test her and stuff. Yes, chai is tea. I named my new laptop Bluebell. Oh yeah, I saw that in your story yesterday. I was like, did she have that name from my viewer? But it's a pretty common name, I'd say, Bluebell. Cause even my campus cat's name was Bluebell. It was so cute before it got adopted. So, you know, they adopted it because, you know, it was in the campus and like coyotes come. Thanks. All right. Man, I was so hungry. I didn't eat anything today. It's like 5 p.m. Because I thought they would have food at the event that I went to. But apparently the food thing was at 1 p.m. and like I came kind of late. I came at 2 because, or like 2:30 because like I had Quran class before that. So I had to go late. I mean, I could have started Quran class earlier, but I was kind of procrastinating. I was scrolling when I woke up. To be honest, I don't want to make my own money. I know I'm still young, but to be honest, it doesn't feel good to ask parents for money. But that doesn't go together. If you don't want to make your own money and you don't want to ask your parents, the only solution is to make your own money. So it's not enough to say I don't want to make my own money, because nobody wants to work. Trust me, I don't. If I could have my own money without working, I would do that. But the only reason why working is so essential is because people need to get their minds off of their families sometimes. Otherwise, the family's gonna suffer. You know, like, you need a break. You can't just be with your husband all day long. He'll be like, okay, I need a break. Because less is more, you know? That's what makes a relationship last. Do you read again? Oops, sorry. To be honest, I want to make my own money. Oh, my bad. I know why I said that. I read that as I don't want to make my own money. I want to make money, but I don't know how. Okay. So education is knowledge is power. It's the key to everything. It's the key to financial freedom. It's the key to social status and respect in society. It's the key to just like anything you want in real life, to be honest. You just save up and achieve your dreams. Opportunity. People will give you anything you want if you have that money. And money comes from a job, and jobs come from education, and education comes from school, so do good in school. Wait for a jinn to grant your wish. we need a genie. Genie is like, they got that term in Aladdin from Jinni, like a jinn. That's crazy. A jinn can't grant you wishes though. He can only make you disrespect Allah so that he could do something for you in return. That's not even accurate. Like, he'll tell you the future, but he'll add lies to it and stuff. Like, what do you mean I gotta get 18 years of education, then I get a job? I know, bro. I've been in school forever. My whole life since I was 3 years old. And I'm still, actually, maybe not 3, 4 years old. I was in kindergarten when I was 4. I started early. And I skipped 11th and 12th grade. It didn't add up. I used up all the time that I saved from skipping 3 grades on a different major that I changed. And people who started after me, like, finished 12th grade, they already finished school, they're going in law school. I'm like, bro. Bluebell, we shared the same humor for you. Nah, like, you're in 10th grade, you can teach 8th grade kids, right? It works for me. Oh, you teach? Nice, alone back. I'm too new to even catch your humor, but yeah. Yeah, many people do that. I could try, but I'm in 9th grade. That's fine. 9th graders can make money too, but I think the reality is you have to depend on your parents for a little longer until you get older, so. But inshallah, if you keep trying, you'll get there. You'll get financial freedom. Me saying this as a jobless person, bro, the thumbnail is so accurate. But yeah, nowadays the marketing, I mean the job market is so bad. Like, everybody complains, but I should be doing more. Be right back. Okay. Put it out, begged Mary. The branches of the willow began to sway violently. There was a sound of the wind rising and spreading outwards to the branches of all the other trees around about, and as though they had dropped a stone into the quiet slumber of the river valley and set up ripples of anger that ran up the whole forest. Sam kicked up the little fire and stamped out the sparks, but Frodo, without any clear idea of why he did so or what he hoped for, ran along the path crying, "Help, help, help." It seemed to him that he could hardly hear the sound of his own shrill voice. It was blown away from him by the willow wind and drowned in a clamor of leaves. As soon as the words left his mouth, he felt desperate, lost, and witless. Suddenly he stopped. There was an answer, or so he thought, but it seemed to come from behind him, away down the path further back into the forest. He turned round and listened, and soon there could be no doubt. Someone was singing a song. A deep, glad voice was singing carelessly and happily, but it was singing nonsense. Hey doll, Mary doll, ring-a-dong, ding-a-lo, ring-a-dong, hop along, follow out that willow, tom-bom, jolly tom, tom-bom-buddy-o. Bombolini is actually a really good Italian donut, and I had it like a couple times in 2 Italian restaurants, and it was so good. Half hopeful, half afraid of some new danger, Frodo and Sam now both stood still. Suddenly, out of a long string of nonsense words, or so they seemed, the voice rose up loud and clear and burst into this song. Hey, come there, doll, my darling. Light goes the weather wind and the feathered starling. Down along Underhill, shining into the sunlight, waiting on the doorstep for the cold starlight. There my pretty lady is, river woman's daughter, slender as the willow wand, clearer than the water. Old Tom Bombadil, water lilies bringing, comes hopping home again. Can you hear him singing? Hey, come there, doll, and Mariole. Goldberry, Goldberry, Merry Yellow Barrel. Poor old willow man, you tuck your roots away. Tom's in a hurry now, evening will follow day. Tom's going home again, water lilies bringing. Hey, Tom, there, doll, can you hear me singing? Frodo and Sam stood as if enchanted. The wind puffed out, and the leaves hung silently again on stiff branches. There was another burst of song, and then suddenly, hopping and dancing along the path, there appeared above the reeds an old battered hat with a tall crown and a long blue feather stuck in the band. With another hop and a bound, there came into view a man, or so it seemed. At any rate, he was too large and heavy for a hobbit, if not quite tall enough for one of the big people, though he made noise enough for one. Stumping along with the great yellow boots on his thick legs, charging through grass and rushes like a cow going down to drink. He had a blue coat and a long brown beard. His eyes were blue and bright, and his face was red as a ripe apple, but creased into 100 wrinkles of laughter. In his hands he carried on a large leaf, as on a tray, a small pile of white water lilies. Help! Cried Frodo and Sam, running towards him with their hands stretched out. Whoa, whoa, steady there, cried the old man, holding up one hand, and they stopped short, as if they had been struck stiff. Now, my little fellows, where be you a-going to, puffing like a bellows? What's the matter here, then? Do you know who I am? I'm Tom Bombadil. Tell me what's your trouble. Tom's in a hurry now. Don't you crush my lilies. He talks in third person, cringy. Don't cancel me. How did not a single person in my bloodline walk in? Bro, I got the same question. Like, they could have made generational wealth. Now the whole burden falls into me. That's unfair. You know, Lady Bluebell, in the 1971 thing, my grandpa was a pilot, and he worked in the Air Force. Like, he, fought for the country's freedom and all, but he was rich. He had 8 kids, and he didn't invest in a single one of them. How could he do that? Like, that one guy locked in, and his brother locked in too, and that guy created generational wealth for my second cousins, and they're doing good. But that's crazy. Like, my grandpa had to be the one that didn't lock in. I mean, that didn't invest in his kids to lock in, and that's so sad, man. And if he did, even care, he'd give them money at least. But he didn't. He still has a lot of money. I was like, dang. Welcome back, Kai Nut. Master Mary's been squeezed in a crack, cried Sam. What? Shouted Tom Bombadil, leaped up in the air. Old Man Willow? Not worse than that, eh? That can soon be mended. I know the tune for him. Old Grey Willow Man, I'll freeze him marrow cold if he don't behave himself. I'll sing his roots off. I'll sing a wind-up and blow leaf and a branch away. Old Man Willow. Setting down his lilies carefully on the grass, he ran to the tree. There he saw Mary's feet sticking out. The rest had already been drawn further inside. Tom put his mouth to the crack and began singing into a low voice. They could not catch the words, but evidently Mary was aroused. His legs began to kick. Tom sprang away and, breaking off a hanging branch, smote the side of the willow with it. You let them out again, Old Man Willow, he said. What you been a-thinking of? You should not be waking. Eat earth, dig deep, drink water, go to sleep. Bombadil is talking. He then seized Mary's feet and drew him out of the suddenly widening crack. There was a tearing creak on the other crack split open, and out of it Pippin sprang as if he had been kicked. Then, with a loud snap, both cracks closed fast again. A shudder ran through the tree from the root to tip, and complete silence fell. Thank you, said the hobbits, one after the other. Tom Bombadil burst out laughing. Well, my little fellows, said he, stooping so that he peered into their faces, you shall come home with me. The table is all laden with yellow cream, honeycomb, and white bread and butter. Goldberry is waiting. Time enough for questions around the supper table. You follow after me as quick as you are able." With that, he picked up his lilies and then went, with a beckoning wave of his hand, went hopping and dancing along the path eastward, still singing loudly and nonsensically. Too surprised and too relieved to talk, the hobbits followed after him as fast as they could. But that was not fast enough. Tom soon disappeared in front of them, and the noise of his singing got fainter and further away. Suddenly, his voice came floating back for them in a loud halloo. "Hop along, my little friends, up the witty window. Tom's going ahead, candle for to kindle. Down west sinks the sun. Soon you will be groping. When the night shall fall, then the door will open. Out of the window panes light will twinkle yellow. Fear no alder black, heed no hoary willow. Fear neither root nor bough. Tom goes on before you. Hey now, Mary Doll, we'll be waiting for you." Bro, our grandpas sold lands to buy cigarettes and cycles because that was cool then. Oh my god, that's insane. My dad's family did that, but to be honest, both my mom and dad's family are rude, to be honest, so yeah. The land area would worth millions now. Ugh, I can't forgive them. Kai, my relatives only remember me when my results are coming out. Bro, that's so accurate. Like, I don't know why it's just such a common experience, bro. Like, once my aunt donated some jewelry to the masjid, and every single year she wants everyone, like, have a normal conversation. Then somebody, girl, like, "Did you know I donated jewelry to the masjid?" Like, girl, yeah, I know, but being proud of a donation is pathetic of a human being. Oh, yeah, that's kind of harsh, but it's true. Like, Islam says never, ever repeat a favor that you did. Ever. To remind somebody of a favor that you did nulls and voids the deed itself. You don't get any reward for it. And if you get it in this world, it's half-hearted. That respect is shallow. They don't look at Yuki, bro. He's staring out the window. But yeah, it's so important not to do that. Alhamdulillah, though, Allah granted us a good understanding of the religion, so we don't, do that. Alright, 2 more pages, and we're done with the chapter. After that, the hobbits heard no more. Almost at once, the sun seemed to sink into the trees behind them. They thought of the slanting light of evening glittering on the Brandywine River, and the windows of Bucklebury beginning to gleam with hundreds of lights. Great shadows fell across them. Trunks and branches of trees hung dark and threatening over the path. White mists began to rise and curl on the face of the river and stray about the roots of the trees upon its borders. Out of the very ground at their feet a shadowy steam arose and mingled with the swiftly falling dusk. It became difficult to follow the path, and they were very tired. Their legs seemed leaden. Strange furtive noises ran among the bushes and reeds on either side of them, and if they looked up to that gloom dark against the twilight, and leered down at them from the high bank and the edges of the wood. Looked up to the pale sky, they caught the sight of the queer, gnarled, and knobbly faces that gloomed dark against the twilight and leered down at them from the high bank of the edges of the wood. They began to feel that all this country was unreal, and that they were stumbling through an ominous dream that led to no awakening. Just as they felt their feet slowing down to a standstill, they noticed that the ground was gently rising. The water began to murmur. In the darkness, they caught the white glimmer of foam where the river flowed over a short fall. Then suddenly, the trees came to an end, and the mists were left behind. They stepped out from the forest and found a wide sweep of grass welling up before them. The river, now small and swift, was leaping merrily down to meet them, glinting here and there in the light of the stars, which were already shining in the sky. The grass under their feet was smooth and short, as if it had been mown or shaven. The eaves of the forest behind were clipped and trim as a hedge. The path was now plain before them, well tended and bordered with stone. It wound up onto the top of a grassy knoll, now gray under the pale stars night. And there, still high above them on the further slope, they saw the twinkling lights of a house. Down again the path went, and then up again up a long smooth hillside of turf towards the light. Suddenly, a wide yellow beam flowed out brightly from a door that was opened. There was Tom Bombadil's house before them, up, down, under a hill. Behind it, a steep shoulder of the land lay grey and bare, and beyond that, the dark shapes of the Barrow Downs stalked away in the eastern night. They all hurried forward, hobbits and ponies. Already half their weariness and all their fears had fallen from them. "Hey, come, merry doll!" rolled out of the song to greet them. "Hey, come, merry doll! Hop along, my hearties, hobbits, ponies, and all. Hobbits, ponies, all. We are fond of parties. Now, let the fun begin. Let us sing together." It's kind of creepy. Then, in another clear voice, as young and as ancient as spring, like the song of a glad water flowing down into the night from the bright mornings in the hills, came falling like silver to meet them. Now let the song begin. Let us sing together of sun, stars, moon, and mists, rain and cloudy weather, light on the budding leaf, dew on the feather, wind on the open hill, bells on the heather, reeds by the shady pool, lilies on the water, old Tom Bombadil and river daughter. And with that song, the hobbits stood upon the threshold, and a golden light was all about them. Assalamu alaikum. Yo, Lucia Ali Heber, welcome to the stream. How's it going? I don't know if you're still here, but we're just finishing chapter 6 of The Lord of the Rings. The Fellowship of the Ring, the first book. Yuki looks like a panda. From this angle, it definitely, yeah. I'm here. Nice. So, should I start chapter 7 or should I go eat since I haven't eaten yet? It's 5:42. But this next chapter is not too long. It's just like 167. Go eat. Okay. I'm gonna do that then. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. And if I said anything wrong, well, we gotta end the stream like this. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. And then I gotta put my bookmark as well. My beautiful bookmark. Okay, take care, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking along, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your days, inshallah. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Would you like to sign my petition? Maybe next time I trapped Isaac. Bye. Subscribe so I can see you next time.